Hello students, welcome to West Bengal English Medium Guide. Today I am going to give you the rest of the inside question answers from chapter 3, the Sultans of Delhi. This one is the last part of this chapter. I have given part 1 and part 2 in the previous videos. If you have missed, then please check out those videos from the description box or playlist. Okay, so let's start from number 75. Where was the armies proposed for expedition during Muhammad bin Tughlaq? A large army was raised for a proposed expedition to Khorasan. 76. Which steps were taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq to expand his control? Muhammad bin Tughlaq wished to expand his control to Persia and Central Asia. A large army was raised for a proposed expedition to Khorasan. The soldiers were equipped and paid 1 year's salary in advance as an incentive. But this plan was soon abandoned as the Sultan realized the difficulties of sending a huge army across the Himalayas. By that time, the elaborate preparations had further depleted his treasury. Another expedition was sent to conquer the Kangra region to extend the northern boundaries of the empire. After initial success, the expedition also ended in disaster and only a handful of the soldiers could finally return alive. 77. What was the after effect of Muhammad bin Tughlaq's failed experiment? Muhammad bin Tughlaq's failed experiments ruined the prestige of the Sultan, drained his treasury, and weakened the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate. Revolts broke out all over the empire. 78. Who did break free and declare themselves from the control of the Delhi Sultanate? Mewar broke free from the control of the Sultanate. Distant provinces like Bengal and Sindh declared themselves independent. The Sultanate lost its control over the Deccan, and two independent kingdoms became powerful to the south of the Vindhyas, the Vijayanagar and the Bahmani kingdoms. Number 79. Which two independent kingdoms became powerful during Muhammad bin Tughlaq? The Vijayanagara and the Bahmani kingdoms. Number 80. When did Muhammad bin Tughlaq die? In 1351. 81. When had the Sultanate started showing evident signs of decay? By the times of Muhammad bin Tughlaq's death in 1351, the Sultanate had started showing evident signs of decay. Number 82. Who was the successor of Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Muhammad bin Tughlaq was succeeded by his cousin Firoz Shah Tughlaq, a peace-loving and benevolent ruler. Number 83. Who were ulema? A body of Islamic scholars recognized for their expertise in Islamic sacred law and theory were known as ulema. 84. Who supported Firoz Shah Tughlaq to rule his empire? From the very beginning, he sought the support of the nobles and ulema whom Muhammad bin Tughlaq did not allow to interfere in the matters of the state. 85. How did Firoz Shah Tughlaq please the nobles and ulema? Firoz Shah Tughlaq handed out larger iktas to the nobles and made the ikta system hereditary. In order to please the ulema, he imposed Islamic laws. 86. How long did Firoz Shah Tughlaq rule? 37 years. 87. How is Firoz Shah Tughlaq referred as and why? Firoz Shah Tughlaq is best remembered for his welfare measures. His 37-year-long rule saw various economic and judicial reforms, thus he is sometimes referred to as a reformer sultan. Number 88. Who was a taxation policy reformed by Firoz Shah Tughlaq? Firoz Shah Tughlaq reorganized taxation policy. He not only reduced the tax in the Doab region but abolished numerous taxes. Now the people only paid 4 taxes that were approved by Islamic law. which included kharaj, land revenue, khamas, state's share of loot acquiring during war, jizya, tax on non-Muslims, and zakat, giving alms to the poor. 89. Which reforms were done by Firoz Shah Tughlaq? Firoz Shah Tughlaq reorganized taxation policy. Other reforms of Firoz Shah Tughlaq included provisions of irrigational facilities, building hospitals, schools, and sarais. Karkhanas were established to provide employment. A special charity department called Diwani Khairat was set up to look after widows and orphans. Number 90. What was the responsibility of the Sultan? The Sultan held absolute power and was responsible to protect his people from foreign attacks and maintain law and order. 91. What was Sultan considered as the Balban's rule? By Balban's rule, the Sultan was considered to be God's representative on earth. 92. Which practice was introduced by Balban to show respect to Sultan? Balban introduced the practice of sijda, or lying on the ground next to the feet of the Sultan, and pibos, or kissing the Sultan's feet. 93. What were the jobs of nobles? The nobles enjoyed high positions in the state's administration. In fact, all important military and civilian posts were held by the nobles. 94. Which were the high-ranking nobles during the Delhi Sultanate period? The Khas, Maliks, and Amirs. 95. Name some important officials in the Delhi Sultanate administration. Some important officials in the Delhi Sultanate administration included the Wakil-e-Dar, who was responsible for the entire royal household, and the Amir-e-Hazib, who was the master of the ceremonies at the royal court. 96. Mention the functions of Amir-e-Hazib. The Sultan received all information including petition through the Amir-e-Hazib. Number 93. What were the functions of the Wazir? The Wazir supervised all the other departments and was responsible for revenue collection, salaries, and allotment of land, among many other functions. 98. What was Iqta system? The Sultans of the Delhi Sultanate followed the Iqta system. Under this system, land grants were given to military and civilian officials known as iqtadars or muktis. 99. What was the job of iqtadars? Iqtadar or muktis were in charge of collecting taxes from the assigned lands. A part of tax was deposited to the Sultan's treasury. They were also responsible for maintaining an army. Number 100. Describe the army of the Delhi Sultanate. The Sultan maintained a strong army. The military affairs were managed by an official called Ariz-e Mumalik. During Alauddin Khilji's reign, Chehra, or a full descriptions, was maintained to chase the quality of troops. The practice of dug, or branding horses, was also done during Alauddin Khilji's reign to ensure only good quality horses were brought. The Iqtadars maintained additional troops for the Sultan. Next, what were the divisions of the empire? The empire was divided into subas, or provinces, that were further divided into sheikhs that were headed by a sheikhdar. Sheikhs were then divided into paraganas that were made by of a number of villages. The provinces were headed by a mukti, a governor, and an amil oversaw a paragana. Next, who belonged to the top of the society in Delhi Sultanate? Nobles. Who belonged to the lowest of the society in Delhi Sultanate? Slaves. How was the life of slave in Delhi Sultanate? Slavery was an important feature of Delhi Sultanate society. There were numerous references to slaves being bought and sold. Although the slaves led a miserable life, there were some slaves that enjoyed certain privileges like education. They were mostly owned by the royal household and, with their owners' patronage, gained employment in the military or found administrative jobs. Who were Bandagan? Some slaves were specially purchased for military services by sultans. They were known as Bandagan in Persia. These Bandagans were trained and given important positions in the military and state administration, which were a major source of income during the Sultanate. Taxes. Mention some taxes which imposed during the Delhi Sultanate. Some taxes imposed during the Delhi Sultanate period included kharaj or land tax, ghari or house tax, and charai or cattle tax. Who were appointed to collect tax in Delhi Sultanate period? Revenue officials such as khuts and muqaddams were specially appointed to collect taxes. Which new measures were introduced by Alauddin Khilji for collecting revenue? Alauddin Khilji introduced new measures for collecting taxes. He fixed revenue at 50% of the total produce. He also ensured that land was measured and that tax was fixed accordingly. Although the rate of tax was high, Khilji ensured that the peasants were not exploited by the revenue officials, who were also liable to pay taxes. Who were Shahana? Shahana was an official appointed by Alauddin Khilji who would supervise traders and merchants. Who was the last ruler of Tughlaq dynasty? Nasiruddin. Who was Taimur? Taimur was the founder of Timurid dynasty in Central Asia and the descendant of Genghis Khan. Which places were plundered by Taimur? Plundered means captured. Taimur raided and plundered the cities of Firozabad, Meerut, Haridwar, Kangra, and Jammu. Which dynasty was established after the decline of the Tughlaq dynasty? Who was the founder of this dynasty? After the decline of Tughlaq dynasty, the Sayyid dynasty was established in 1414 CE by Khizr Khan. Which dynasty was overthrown after Sayyid dynasty? Who was the founder of this dynasty? Lodi dynasty was established after Sayyid dynasty by Bahlul Lodi in 1451 C. What was the duration of Lodi dynasty? The Lodi were an Afghan dynasty that ruled from 1451 to 1526 C. Who was the last ruler of the Lodi dynasty? Ibrahim Lodi. Who defeated Ibrahim Lodi and when? Ibrahim Lodi was defeated by Babur in the first Battle of Panipat in 1526 C. Who established the great Mughal Empire? Babur. Okay, these are the inside question answers from chapter 3, the Sultans of Delhi. This one is part 3. Part 1 and part 2 are given in the previous videos. If you have missed, then please check out the description box or playlist. You will find those videos from there. Okay, that's all for today. See you soon with a new video. Till then, take care and bye.